Welcome, angry faithful, to the Friday What the Hell episode, to where we just talk. What the?
What was
Okay,
that?
that was weird as weird can be.
That was
Anyway,
not me.
I know it wasn't you. That was me. I didn't mean that. Uh, Basically, what we do is we talk the political spectrum of the week, what has happened, what we found interesting of this week. So, yes. And we're going to start it out with what everybody's talking about still. And Bill brought this up. It's like, I can't believe we're still talking about this. Yes, we're still talking about this. We're talking about Minnesota.
In other words, we're talking about the shiny object that's meant to distract you.
I know, Bill, you made it quite apparent that you don't want to have this topic. But it's in the news. We're going to talk about it real quick. We're going to take 10 minutes, if anything, on this. What's happening there? And get my chat for X up and going.
And 10 minutes ago or 1 hour ago, Tim Walz came out and says that all of this rioting and all that created by the Trump administration is strictly, or his investigation. Okay, let me back up. He's being investigated. We knew that, but he has now announced that he criticized Trump administration and federal prosecutors opened the investigation to distract from the evil stuff we're doing.
It was doing that beforehand.
That was that was on a Facebook post right before I started, and that is exactly my response. Is they were going to open an investigation before the Democrat promoted violence in the Democrats, and here is what I call it. I don't know why they called it the summer of love back in the George Floyd stuff. That was nothing but love, but I have labeled this the winter of hate.
Oh yeah, that works. Okay. Here's what's supposed to happen, and I was gonna. This is the main thing. What a lot of people are getting upset. ICE is in the streets going after people. There was a guy that got shot by an ICE agent again, but he was one of the people they were trying to grab. Here's how it's supposed to go. Because of these sanctuary cities, it's the problem. The reason why it is a problem is because, hey, they're supposed to be in jail when they pick them up. So it's a easier process. You know, the people that are committing the crime, they're illegals and they're criminals. That's what they're trying to go after. There's some speculations and everything. And I got to go in. This is the reason why I had that channel up. And AI deleted it already. Thank you. Anyways.
What did AI delete?
The message here. We'll make you popular, blah, blah, blah. Anyways.
Click on it. Make us popular.
I'm not doing that, Bill. Anyways.
Scam 101.
Bill, okay. Yep, absolutely. The process of getting these illegals that are criminals, this is the process so it doesn't more or less get mishaps. Okay? Person commits crime. DUI, whatever it is, they find out he's illegal. Okay? He's in jail. Well, as soon as that happens, ICE or Border Patrol is supposed to be called. They take that individual and separate them from the prison. What ICE is doing right now in these sanctuary cities is causing the problems. Because now ICE has to defend against rioters and what they call protesters, even though the protesters right now are throwing fireworks and other things. So, as of right now, Minneapolis police chief states that 24 of his officers have resigned. 18 of them are now working for ICE. So they're going for the better deal. This has actually been, I posted, I need to repost this. I repost this on our X account. If you watch it, good on you. It's a good 25, a minute 25. And it speaks volumes of what is happening with the liberal side right now. Let me go ahead and cue this up.
Used to be Democrat, then you had a kid. I mean, look, everyone's Democrat, everyone's liberal until something happens to make you grow the fuck up. This is why these leftists in Minnesota are acting like children. They're lacking the maturity to understand what they're doing, what they're fighting for, what the stakes actually are. People really don't have the defining moment that makes them fucking liberal. You're liberal, and then you realize, like, oh, we have a responsibility to our nation, to our people, to our culture. This is why they're acting so insane and so savagely, is because they're still immature. They're still acting like children. See, this is the problem as well. It's like, as a mature person, it is almost impossible to argue with an immature person, which is where this issue is arising. We're not on equal footing here. We're not of equally sound mind. We're not of equal intellect here. Not of equal experience, trying to have a debate, a conversation. We're trying to deal with children. Have you ever tried to reason with a child? Have you ever tried to reason with an insolent child throwing a tantrum? It's impossible. You can't sit down with a child and discuss philosophy and behavioral studies. It doesn't work. They don't understand. They don't understand. And this is the problem that we're having. We cannot communicate with the left. We're unable to. They lack the cognitive ability to have a discussion about this.
Yeah. So there's that. That's the reason. And it really is. And I'm far beyond of wanting these people to actually do what's right. Just do what's right. And you can't even do that. The father-in-law of what's good, I guess. When I think he was on CNN, he was supposed to do like a news tour, okay? And he just basically came out and was like, no, ICE did what they were supposed to do. I looked up all the evidence and everything. I saw all the camera views, and the officer was in the right. It's upsetting, but the officer, he didn't do a tour after that because he did not say what the legacy media wanted him to say, that Good was a pioneer and she was in the right. No, she wasn't. Just looking at all the videos, as soon as that last video of the actual ICE agent's camera phone came out, free Diddy. No, he's also a horrible person, Aaron. I hate to tell you this right now. He is horrible. But yeah, it's just ridiculous that they want to glorify people that are pieces of shit. Like Diddy. Diddy's a piece of shit. Or the El Salvador man that was like a wife beater and trafficked kids, and the left like went to El Salvador to try to bring him back, which is highly illegal for kidnapping. That is considered kidnapping. That was just shows how irrational some people are at times.
Is it irrational what I think they should do? Now I don't know. We were talking about the physics of this.
Go ahead, Bill.
And we don't know the physics of this. It may require like a lot colder temperatures than they're getting in Minneapolis right now. But
Oh.
I'm thinking water cannons. And I'm thinking if water cannons, if it freezes fast enough, will it be throwing shards of ice? Okay, I really don't like the protesters. So in this winter of hate,
They're not protesters. They're not protesters. They're rioters.
They're anarchists.
Yeah, they're anarchists. Now, saying that, I'll tell the story, Bill, and depending on the pressure of the water hitting and going through the air. And no, you are an idiot, ma'am, sir. Anyways, let's go fix that one real quick. I'll fix this real quick. Too much time. Anyways,
oh, there we go.
But yeah, the pressure of that with the water, depending on the heat in it, you could do it, but if it's that cold, it'll probably freeze inside the water thing. So I don't think that would work. But funny story. When I was in the Air Force and I was in Alaska, in the safety brief, they told us, hey, if it gets really below, like negative below at night, don't piss outside. I was like, why not? Well, it'll freeze and you'll freeze your member. I was like, oh, okay. Makes sense. I felt it made sense, but my buddy didn't make sense to him and he wanted to try it out. So he went outside and tried to pee, came back with an icicle on his member, and he was like, dude, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. I was like, I can get rid of it, but go outside real quick. We went outside real quick and I flicked it off. That hurt too, because it's basically an ice cube on his member. And yeah, so I guess yeah, go ahead. Aaron M4517. If you're still watching, why are we idiots? Go ahead, enlighten us. I want to see how this is
ignorant.
No, I want to see how ignorant I am. I mean, I'm pretty out there sometimes. And
are you out there more than me?
No, you come up with some idiotic stuff at times. But anyway,
thank you.
I guess they just wanted to
hit and run.
Yeah, hit and run. Anyways,
oh, Dad, how about the officer? What was it? The unmanned patrol car that they ransacked and got the secret or top secret documents out and doxed people from it.
The documentations. Well, that's a federal crime too. I don't know if they have anybody going in there and finding that out, but
supposedly they did arrest I guess a main person involved, but I don't know how many people were involved. I just heard a little blurb about that.
Yeah, what had happened? I'll see if I can find it. It was all over for like a second and then it just went away. Let's see here. Let me Okay. That's long. There we go. Okay, here we go. No, I don't want that. Okay, there we go.
24th Avenue. Following the second ICE-related shooting in a week. And just down the street from the face-off with ICE agents was the sound of a car alarm as people were seen pounding on one of the vehicles. There appeared to be two unmarked federal agents' vehicles left parked on the street, a gray Dodge Durango and gray Ford Edge.
Well, I believe that those vehicles were FBI vehicles, not our Department of Homeland Security vehicles.
Loud bangs could be heard near the cars as people asked, "What's in there? Are they more fake? Oh my God!" They crowded around documents spread across the road while flipping through some of the papers. And then this was caught on camera. People then chased it down the street to learn what was inside. While walking nearby, we noticed ammunition on the ground next to a black bag. And by the end of the night, both vehicles were spray painted and surrounded by broken glass, federal agents' clothing, boxes and bags, and paperwork.
And we were.
Yeah, so
How about the people who are tossing water out in front of the agents' buildings so that it'll freeze and they'll slip on it? Can they use like a snowblower to defend?
That's not what they're doing.
That's one of the things they're doing.
No, it's not. They're freezing the bottles and throwing at people.
No, they are, but they're also dumping water out to freeze so they'll slip coming out of the buildings, and so their vehicles will slide. You didn't see that one?
See that one? No.
Yeah, that's
There's so much stuff on that. It's ridiculous. So we're gonna go past that, and we're gonna go into. I don't know. I got that. No.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go into the Venezuela stuff. One thing that happened that was kind of morbid but interesting. It's
Venezuelan stuff.
No. They're finally returning the Cubans that had passed away during the Venezuela raid. This is kind of scary, and people are saying some weird stuff. Even this guy, what did Delta Force do to Maduro's Cuban bodyguards that made them all return in shoeboxes? This is... I'll mute that. But yeah, this is the 20 Cubans coming in there, out of the plane, which okay. Here's my theory, and this is just a theory. Okay. One, they're returning as Cuban cigar boxes, so that's okay. But what probably happened is they got the bodies of those individuals, they cremated them and put them in boxes so it's easy to carry, because Cuba can't afford the moving of actual bodies, but they can bring forth the, ashes, and they can do it that way. And they put them in Cuban cigar boxes because that's what they had, lying around.
When you write notes to me on what we're going to talk about, you need to specify a little bit better, because I saw that and I was going, fuck, I don't smoke. What the hell?
I make the notes so I can understand it. Really bad. I make the show notes. I'm like, I'll figure it out. And I was like, hey, can you read the show notes? Yeah. Maybe I should make it to where everybody can understand. Nah, we're good.
Yeah, I was like, what is it? Another Trump trade deal? Cubans made it cigar boxes, you know?
But you get the joke, man. They're
Yeah, I do now. But when I first read that, I was kind of like, what?
it made sense to me, and I'm the person who's running the show, so that's who you got to. I'll specify next time a little bit better, Bill. Okay,
I'm so confused.
now another thing that's in the news right now with the Venezuela stuff is they sold the Venezuela oil. They did it at reasonable prices that are this time frame. How much
Market
oil?
rates? We don't want it to go to China because China, they were getting up to $20 per barrel discount.
Really?
So we have ended that. But people think, oh, oil, it's a barrel of oil. Trump can't do anything about it. No, the price that you see is not always the price of a barrel of oil. There's a lot that goes into it. There's discounts. There's types of oil. There's, in fact, recently I knew we use heavy crude from Venezuela and from Canada in our Gulf Coast refineries. But one of those, you know, we have the light sweet West Texas shale that we don't necessarily have all the refineries that can refine it, but they mix it with the Venezuelan heavy crude to make it refine easier. So when you look at the price of a barrel of oil, there's no way you can just go like the idiot liberals go, oh, Trump's not doing it because it's all supply and demand and it's all the price of oil. No, it's not. There's deals all over the world for oil.
Yeah.
In fact, people are like, what is Trump doesn't have power over the price of oil and a price of gas. Well, would you believe Trump's actions probably raised the price of petrol diesel in Australia? Yeah, you can control it in such a way.
So basically, what you're saying, Bill, is they sold the oil probably around about 58 gallons.
Dollars
Yeah, 58
per barrel.
Yeah, for $58 because that's what January 12th. So I'm figuring that's how much it was for that time frame. And I'm looking for the past month or so. So yeah, it's pretty much been like $60. Okay, just round about $60. So China was buying it for 40 then.
Yeah, up to $20 per over the last, you know, for who knows how long. That's the deal. You know, everyone's funding the war machine in Putin. I love the Putin, Trump, Putin thing. Well, you know, Trump just pissed Putin off, so he's not very happy. It's not like Trump is appeasing Putin because this is starving Putin's war machine because the Venezuela oil is going to go to countries that have been buying it from Russia because they have the similar heavy crude. So it's going to replace Russian oil, but it's still hard to get them to do it because Russia was selling it to them at a discount. Like in India, Russia was selling heavy crude to India, but at a discount. They have the largest refinery in the world. Australia doesn't have a lot of refining capacity because they've got too many environmental wackos. So they buy it from India. Well, since Trump is saying we're going to put secondary tariffs on you, India, if you buy it from Russia, so now India has to get it from another location, they're paying more for the oil, helping to stop Russia, but they're paying more. So the price of fuel that they refine is going to go up. So when people say, oh, Trump isn't changing the price of gas in America, there's a lot of variables that go into the price of gas. He's probably responsible for increasing the price of gas in Australia. Sorry, Aussies. Love you. but you know, you got a nut job there too.
Yeah. Now talking about that, this is the reason why the $500 million is in the news right now is because it's shipped to Qatar, and everybody's saying it's like, oh, Trump's pocketing the money. He's not pocketing the money. This is actually what he's doing. And this is Stephen Nugent, I guess. Nugent. Anyways, we'll go.
Qatar. The Trump haters are losing their minds, claiming he stole the money for personal gain. As usual, the headlines are outright lies. Here's what actually happened and why it matters. The United States completed its first sale of Venezuelan oil worth about $500 million. That money is being held in accounts controlled by the U.S. government. One of those accounts is in Qatar. Trump also signed a government order protecting that oil money from courts and creditors, so all debt holders can't just seize it. Now, here's the context. For about 100 years since before World War II, the global banking system has been in control. Big banks, big lenders, big finance. They made the rules. They created the debt, and they collected the interest. Nations got loans, but it was never a fair deal. And here's how it worked. Banks created money out of nothing, or used trillions in narco money, which Trump cut off by going into Venezuela, by the way. And then they loaned it out, then demanded real assets when the loans were called in. Oil, land, and infrastructure. Greece even lost major monuments and heritage sites this way. So without protection, that $500 million could have been taken by creditors because Venezuela, they obviously have massive debt. And here's the Trump card. By holding the oil under U.S. government control and shielding it from claims, the money no longer flows into the old imperial banking system of the globalists. It moves away from global creditors, away from courts, and into sovereign national control. For decades, banking and creditor networks dictated terms to nations. If you owe debt, they took assets. Some writers call them economic hitmen who push debt and contracts for powerful interests, not national sovereignty. There's a book about it. Now, the U.S. government is saying, not anymore. We control the revenue. We protect it. We decide where it goes. And that's a massive shift. And after the narco money flow was stopped by Trump, another nail in the imperial coffin of the globalists. Whether you love Trump or hate him, it doesn't even matter, because this changes who controls the money, and that changes who has the power. And yes, this is good for America and Venezuela. Trump shifted control from the old global power brokers back to the sovereign nations. Anyone saying that's a bad thing is either beholden, paid off, or they're flat out lying. That's why this matters. And here's the bottom line for Americans. If we want real national sovereignty, if we want America for the people, by the people, then we must control the money. Now imagine this at a local level. Imagine citizen servant leaders, certified through Take America Back, walking into city halls and school boards and saying, no, that money stays here for our community. That's how real change happens, from the bottom up. And that's why supporting Take America Back matters now more than ever. And that's why local leadership matters. And that's how we break a system that's had us in financial chokehold for over 100 years. If you want to be part of building the infrastructure to make this a reality, go to Join tab.
So yeah, it's Qatar.
Some people, is like half the people call it Qatar. Qatar. What do you think? Let's just get our audience thinking. You know, they need to think. Well, at least the conservative ones out there, the liberal ones, their mind's in neutral anyway. So whatever.
Yeah, we already went how to. Let's have Google speak it.
Qatar.
Yeah, it's Qatar. So now I'm kind of like in a halfy on this, having the money go into Qatar. If it's neutral, yes, but there's a lot of stuff in Qatar I just don't like, especially for like the Muslim Brotherhood, those a-holes. But yeah, terrorist organizations and stuff like that use Qatar too. So
Qatari banks have performed similar intermediary roles in the past with Iranian oil sales.
Mhm.
But even though it's there, the Treasury Department is maintaining strict control over the funds.
Yeah.
They have Office of Foreign Assets Control controlling it, and they're making sure that it goes to food, medicine, raw materials for local companies, and for improving their infrastructure. Which I haven't looked into it, but I think there's a tie there. If you watch the press conference with all the oil execs, evidently Exxon's on that. But if you do what?
Really, Exxon.
Yeah, he made some negative comment about Trump afterwards, and Trump said, screw you, Exxon. I think it was Exxon, but they talked about how expensive it's going to be for the infrastructure, and we got into that last week with a pipeline professional who was on here. I wish he would come back. Pipeline professional, are you there?
Oh,
Anyway, they're using some of this money for infrastructure investment. Proceeds are intended to support the modernization and rebuilding of Venezuela's dilapidated energy infrastructure, including electricity grids and oil fields. So when they said, well, all this big money it's going to cost for the oil companies to build everything from scratch and to put everything into it, he's using some of the oil sales money for that. He looks everything transactional. So it's like, how can we not use American tax dollars, and how can we make it happen?
Mm.
And the shadow fleet that we're confiscating all of these tankers all over the place.
How many have we gotten so far?
Oh gosh, I don't know, but we're getting some that are around Russia. Russia claimed what they're not. Do you know, and this goes back to needing to protect the Arctic. Do you know what Russia is doing with some of those tankers? They're having the Shadow Fleet tankers drag anchors in areas on the seabed floor to damage our communications cables.
Yeah, you were talking about that last week.
No, I didn't know about the drag and the anchor thing.
Oh,
I mentioned the cables that they're there and the importance. And there's some major new what was it called? The polar road, that they're major communications cables that are being laid down in the Arctic.
is that what happened with Verizon?
No. No, I just couldn't hear them now.
Apparently, for the Russian Shadow Fleet, and it's not exact of tankers. It's around 1,000 to 1,400 ships, including tankers and support vessels. That was a tongue tie. I don't know why. This exact figure varies by source or are consistent changing as new ships are added or sanctioned. This fleet comprises older, often poorly maintained ships with opaque ownership. I don't know what opaque ownership is, but this is significant from 2022. So it's been going around for a while. We just started now stopping it. The total fleet size put the total of the vessels of the Shadow Fleet from around 155 tankers and to 1,400 vessels by late 2025 to early 2026. And some of the Shadow Fleet is not even just Russia. Some of it is Iran too. It's a combination of the two. So I guess the Shadow Fleet is anybody that's wanting to get black market stuff from one location to another. So
Right, and but that's what they're using them for. It's like recent precedents between 2024 and 2026. At least 11 major disruptions of undersea cables has occurred, and they're looking at it as the Russian shadow fleet dragging cables, dragging anchors, and snagging them.
There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be upset about that, especially a lot of people that are trying to watch porn.
Oh, let me.
Okay, do we want to go with
Remember.
so far we went with go to the show notes. We did the Minneapolis, we've done Greenland, the Cubans, Trump pocketing $500 million. Okay, the next one is War Powers Resolution. Now, a war power resolution which would have required President Donald Trump to secure congressional approval before launching further military actions in Venezuela was blocked after Vice President J.D. Vance cast a tie-breaking vote in the Senate. The final vote was 51-50, with Vance brought in to break up the tie. All Democrats voted in favor for the resolution, joined by just 3 senators. I wish I knew those senators' names, huh, Bill? Opponents of the resolutions argued that it wasn't warranted since the U.S. does not have troops on the ground in Venezuela. So if we had troops on the ground, they would actually vote to stop Trump, from what I'm getting on this one. But Democrats are taking up this bill to terminate hostilities there because their anti-Trump hysteria is known no bounds. Okay. The Trump administration previous asserted that the capture of Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro by U.S. forces was done to bring him to court on drug charges, and it was not a military operation. And I'll explain why that's notable. What has happened tonight is a roadmap to another endless war because this Senate under Republican leadership failed to assert its legitimate and needed authority. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said after his vote. Now, everybody will probably say that military went in to do that. Yes, military did go in to capture Maduro on the behalf of the DOJ, the Department of Justice, because there was a warrant out for Maduro, and that warrant was placed by President Biden's administration. So we took up the mantle, even though it was on our side of this year, this administration's side, and they went out and captured Maduro because they had enough evidence. So going into a foreign country, there's no assets for the FBI or U.S. Marshals to do something that scale. So because it's a different country, they used military operatives. That's how they were able to do that. So they brought him to justice. People are upset because it's another win for this administration. And yeah, and I'm tired of it. I really am.
Tired of winning?
Yeah, I'm tired of winning, dude. It's starting to bogger down. I wonder when this house of cards is going to fold. Don't you?
Within the next 2 weeks?
Your theory. Go ahead, Bill, since we're on this case.
Oh, it isn't my theory. Okay, back to the Greenland thing that I was a little last week on. How do we want Greenland? Do we want it as a state?
I think we just wanted to as a territory.
No. We would still get into some of the same issues as a territory. We want it as a compact of free association,
Okay.
a COFA. That's the same. Okay, you were military. Are you familiar with the Marshall Islands and our agreements there?
Not Marshall Islands. What's a Marshall Island? Oh, damn it. Yes. Okay. Yes. We bought that for like $2 million.
Well, they still maintain their sovereignty.
Yes.
Because they're not even a territory, but we have almost complete military control over it. And this was interesting. Okay, this was before I started working where you work. Michelle was going to apply for a position. It may have been further back than that at the military base. She works on the base on Kwajalein, the Kwajalein Atoll. Are you familiar with that?
No.
It's part of the Marshall Islands, and it's when we shoot rockets for testing, and well, even back when we were shooting nuclear missiles. Okay, we did nuclear testing there too. But when we shoot them, it goes in that area of the Marshall Islands. We have a military base there, and the island, the atoll where it is half a mile wide by 3 miles long, I think. We were going to try to live. We were going to try to live there for a couple of years.
Really?
Yeah. Now at the time, and now this is further back than that, because at the time, well, we had just moved from Arlington, Texas. So can you imagine us, where the entire Metroplex was our playground, and then it was all of a sudden, let's move to this island that's half a mile wide by 3 miles long for a couple of years. But the remote pay for that, and the fact that the APHIS would have paid to store everything, all of your expenses are paid. You got no cable, no living expenses. I don't know if you had to buy your own bicycle or what, because cars aren't allowed. It's all bicycles. And we were actually going to do that for a couple of years. But anyway, that's the agreement they have. So one of the things you hear is 85% of the people on Greenland don't want to be American. You know what? Look at the poll in the most recent election. 85% of them don't want to be American. 85% of them don't want to be part of Denmark either.
Yeah, they want to be their own country.
Right. But when that's thrown up in your face that 85% don't want to be American, say 85% don't want to be now, if we had the Compact of Free Association, they would be independent. Now, Denmark doesn't like that because Denmark wants to keep a leash on them. They don't care that Greenland really wants to be independent. That's why they give them the $500 to $600 million a year allowance and don't really improve their. They have no economic stability. They're going to continuously have to receive that. Yeah. But under our Compact of Free Association, and this is why Denmark is going against it, we would give them that sovereignty, but we would also have a greater ability to have a say in bases and expansion of equipment, and get around some of the garbage that might come up from them, like environmental regulations. They could take and put a stop to anything. We could say, well, we need to do this outpost. Well, hold on, we're going to do this environmental impact study, and then we got to get with Denmark, and then we got to get a couple of years. We might let you do it. No, we can't start putting billion-dollar systems in a place where it could grind to a halt. And there's precedents for that. They did the same thing. Their government can change, and then boom, everything can change. Their latest government that Vance is trying to work with, the people who won it ran on pulling permits and stopping a mine for environmental reasons. They ran on that. The mine I talked about last week, the party actually ran on that. It was their platform. And one of the things that helped them win is to pull permits and shut down the mine. So without some control over it, people are going, well, we could have friendly agreements and all that. No, we can have all the friendly agreements, but we need more control over it. But we have I mean, flat out a traitor over there. We have Murkowski that just went over there to completely undermine Trump, to undermine the administration. She met with them to she's got a a bill that she's introducing, the NATO Unity Protection Act. And she went over there and spoke with them on that today. She's meeting with more high-level meetings tomorrow. And the oh, hold on a sec.
What happened, Bill?
I'm looking for the actual statement that Trump just made about it. Basically, she's trying to pass this that will neuter Trump's ability to do anything, basically diplomatic shadow sabotage. They're considering it a shadow diplomacy. So she's over there going against what America's policy, official policy is for diplomacy, which they're pushing it as a violation of the Logan Act. But she has this bill that a lot of Republicans are supporting it, but I don't think there's enough to override the veto. So what I predict she's going to end up doing is attaching it to something like the Defense Authorization Act, so that at the end of the month, Trump either has to sign it or we run out of funding for defense. That's the game. That's the game they're playing. And Rand Paul has some similar legislation that he's going to be pushing. Now, whether he attaches it to something and goes that far or not sure. But the thing is, Rand Paul is running completely against it. Democrats love it, like, oh, look, he's supporting us. No, you guys are fighting Trump because Trump wants to stop you from stopping spending, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rand Paul wants to stop the spending. So it's basically counterintuitive. If he wins, he loses because they win. But right now, you speak for a moment while I look for this statement.
Okay. While Bill looks at Stephen, we have some breaking news. Florida man is being praised nationwide for personally following a child predator on the highway. 911, you don't have to follow him. Man says he's got kids in his car. If a cop doesn't get him, I will. And it won't be pretty. So let's go ahead and check out that video while Bill does his duty.
591, where's the location of your emergency?
Yes, ma'am. There's a child pedophile with 2 kids in his truck. One's a runaway.
Where are you at, sir?
He's coming down US 1. His name's Darnell.
A caller who knew Harrison and knew he is a registered sex offender just happened to see him on the road. He dialed 911 after spotting him with what looked like 2 underage boys in the car.
Do you know this person?
He's our neighborhood child pedophile, and there's 2 missing kids that run away from out there, and he's got 2 teenage boys in the back of his truck.
The caller followed the truck down US 1.
You don't have to continue following.
Oh, no, I'm following until I see a cop pull his over because he's got 2 kids in his car. Because if a cop don't pull him over, I'm going to pull him over, and it ain't going to be pretty.
Deputies ultimately found the truck and after a bit of a struggle, had Harrison in handcuffs.
Who got my truck? Who got my truck?
All right, I appreciate it. Law enforcement stopped
Yes.
the vehicle.
Yeah, they got him. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Praise that man for doing a civic duty right there. That was amazing. I mean, it's more people need to help out to safeguard kids. That's just beautiful right there. Did you figure it all out, Bill?
Yeah, I was wanting to detail her meeting and Trump's response. So she met in Copenhagen this afternoon. This morning, she made a public address titled "Partners, Not Possessions." Explicitly told the Danish public that the U.S. Congress recognizes Greenland's autonomy and no funding exists nor will be authorized for the forced acquisition of an ally. She's scheduled to meet this afternoon or this evening with Prime Minister Frederiksen. Stated goal is to provide sovereignty guarantees from the U.S. Senate, effectively telling Denmark they can ignore Trump's threats because the money to execute them will be blocked with her NATO Unity Protection Act that she's going to try to push through. And that's what possibly will be attached to the defense authorization bill. And basically the White House's reaction, treasonous interference. So they're saying she is committing treason. White House spokesman today labeled Murkowski's trip as nothing short of diplomatic sabotage, accusing her of violating the spirit of the Logan Act, which prevents private citizens and officials from unauthorized negotiations with foreign governments. So she's making her own case, and what's going to happen is if this all goes through, then Trump will basically look like a figurehead. No one will take him serious in the world because of her actions, and then Rand Paul's. I won't get into the complexity of the addition of what he's doing, because they'll go, oh, Trump will say, I want to be forceful with this trade deal, and all they'll do is go, Murkowski, what do you feel about that? You said you can do anything and stop him. So he'll basically lose all negotiating power, and that's what's going on. While everyone's looking at the little shiny thing of Minnesota, that's what's going on. And what they're saying when you go into more deeper analysis on that is that would create a constitutional crisis.
Yeah.
So we're looking at that, and that's someone in our own party, Murkowski. And just because there's 3, I think, people in our own party, they're calling it a bipartisan support. Sorry, I think, they've said before, if one person from the other party, the liberals call it a bipartisan support. I don't know. We got enough rhinos in the party that, to me, you'd have to have at least 5 people to call it bipartisan, to even begin to call it bipartisan.
Now, another thing that happened recently, President Trump received the Nobel Peace Prize in a way. He was saying that it was a great honor to meet Maria Corina Machado of Venezuela today. She is a wonderful woman who has been through so much. Maria presented me with her Nobel Peace Prize for the work I have done. Such a wonderful gesture and mutual respect. Thank you, Maria. Now, I'm still wondering at what point in time the true president of Venezuela comes up and actually takes power. Or are they still going to do the whole we're still communists and that was a fake election that they won?
Somewhere they're going to have to have a vote.
Well, the thing about it is yes, they can have the vote. The problem they're going to have is those generals, because the Cartel of the Sun is, they're going to do everything in their power. And look at what happened in Mexico. That woman's not really, she's a puppet of the cartels in Mexico. The president of Mexico, she's a puppet. They had to kill, I think, 46 other candidates. Yeah, they should have a new election, hopefully. That it's one of those interesting things that need to update on. And right now, we don't have anything that's coming out of Venezuela of the political standing, but the cartel of the sun, that they have like a chokehold in that country right now, and they need to do something about it. I think that might be it, unless you have anything else, Bill.
Well, one of the things they're saying is, how did he bully her to get that? To get her to give it to him. And do people know the kind of relation between him and her? In January, he let's see, he praised her efforts for peace. That was
Okay. Just to answer your question, sorry, Bill. Just to answer your question, Maria wasn't the president. And yeah, you're right. She doesn't have the backing of the military right now either. The actual president, yeah, it really is risky. Because okay, here's the thing, Josh. The cartel that actually controls Venezuela, it's 4 generals. The reason why I keep on saying the cartel of the sun is because the generals, their lapel, their ranking is sons. And that's the reason why the generals of the cartel of the sun, that's why they're called that. But if you look at the lapel and everything, yeah, we would have to go in and use military action, whoever is getting voted in, for at least, I hope it's not 20 years like we had in the GWAT. But is it just one? The whole thing, from what I gathered.
No, there's a lot of people still embedded down there that it's going to be touchy on getting them out. But she didn't win the last election. There was another election after her. And some people have said he should be put in power, but we don't need to put anyone in power. The best thing is to somehow get them to eventually hold free elections, and both her and the other person could run against each other. But we need to not point fingers and just put someone in there. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Some guy. I think it may have been this Edmundo Gonzalez.
Yeah,
Arusha.
Edmundo Gonzalez. That's the person that actually won last election that they had.
Right. So if she is going to get in, it's going to need to be an election between her and him, possibly, and someone else. Whoever else wants to join in. But it's going to, neither one of them can be just put in.
Yeah, okay.
That is someone's mentioning someone, but that's someone in China, I think. Some young guy.
I think his name was some young guy. Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah, we're not involved in the Chinese elections.
I love Wayne's World. That was a good Wayne's World reference. Thank you, sir, for that. That was awesome. No, but looking this up, it's Cartel de los Soles. Maduro was the top one, and from what I'm getting on this, it was a loose network of high-ranking Venezuelan military and government officials involving drug trafficking and corruption. I'm not going to pronounce those names, but I'll give you the rank on this. Yes, you're right. One of them was Maduro's son, but he was also named for a superintending indictment on drug charges. So we might be nabbing him pretty soon too. There was 4 of them mainly. A political minister, general who pleaded guilty in U.S. courts to drug trafficking and narco terrorism. Hugo, former vice president and minister of industry. Trek El Asamia, also sanctioned and charged by U.S. He has been convicted. So we got some of them. Yeah, the term Cartel de las Solas is a figure of speech referring to the Sun Insignia's war on the universe of high-ranking Venezuelan military officials. It is widely considered an expert to be labeled for the prodigy system of corrupt military and government officials. So, yeah.
We're just opening cans of worms everywhere. Did you hear that Carney said that Canada will defend Greenland? Did you hear that one?
What?
That Carney said that he will help defend Greenland. And I'm thinking, what is he going to do? Send some horses over to protect the dog sled teams?
What's the domination?
Canadian Dominion, the Dominion, the voting machines.
Oh, yeah. They were talking about that, how they had documentation that they, for the 2020 election, they basically stole the election with the Dominion software computers.
What I'm looking at in that is, you had the big Fox News, wasn't it Dominion? Or Smartmatic.
It was BlackRock, but they ended up being part of Fox. So
no, the one that sued and won $800 million for slander from. I think it was going after Dominion or Smartmatic, and it would be interesting if what they find is that they were right, that they actually did the illegal activity, and that lawsuit isn't valid.
Yeah, because it's the same company. I was like BlackRock, Dominion, and Fox are almost like one company in Fox News.
Right. I was referring to the $800 million lawsuit that Fox lost. Not familiar with that?
Yeah. I remember that case. Yeah. He did win his case in Georgia.
I'm a little worried now. You got the Golden Dome that is supposedly going to protect the, Greenland, Canada, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we may need to put something between the Canadian and U.S. border. Carney's just getting too tight with the Chinese, and I think that EV deal with China is going to bite him in the ass. We have someone discussing Canada.
Oh, I can't read this. I put like Google stuff on the thing. What's the matter is democracy. 72 of the world is autocrats. The chaos that happens. Happening us to increase signal to noise rational, which destroys shared truth. Yeah, we were talking about the beginning of the show with the whole we're doing the Minnesota on fire thing just to get clout. Yes, I'll admit it. I'm getting it. Good finger from gold finger.
That's what we need. That's what we need. Conservatives love the memes. You can make fun of a conservative and they love it. We need Trump petting a Persian cat.
That would be good. Just get a pic. There's probably a meme out there about that.
Or maybe AI can generate Trump look like Bond villain petting Persian cat.
Yeah, Dr. No.
Yeah. I'm gonna after we get off, I'm gonna
No,
see
no,
if
no,
I
we
can
can do
create
it.
that.
We can do that right now. I want to see this. Or we have Grok do it. It doesn't really matter.
Are you pulling up Grok?
I'm doing it on Google because I got the Google up on the side.
Well, I've never tried an image with Google. AI is helpful if you use it as a tool. For the first month, I was doing cat pictures and stuff. And I had it do. I said, I want a movie script of Casablanca, but with cats, and it created Casablanca.
Mm.
And then I started actually using AI for useful stuff.
Come on.
Is it doing it?
No, I'm gonna have to use Grok. I'm gonna have to use Grok to do this. Hold on. I'm trying to get it to where I can see the text. Tim Waltz will be like who throws a shoe that nobody.
Just throwing out someone who's talking about Carney. How deep have you gone into looking at Canadian news? If you go into anything big, I would suggest checking out the Moose chart.
Moose chart.
The Moose chart.
What's the Moose chart?
If he looks at it, he'll get it. It's a massive spreadsheet that Moose on the Loose has created. Yeah, it is. That Moose on the Loose has created that shows all the links that Carney has to different businesses. Jasmine Lane's awesome. And that CBC interview, did you see Jasmine who had we actually showed some of it last week, the CBC interview with the opposition prime minister of the opposition prime minister in Greenland. And he was the one who's saying it needs to be an adult conversation between us and Trump without Denmark. So yeah, that's why I'm going with I think I did another analysis of what would he think of the Compact of Free Association, and AI thinks that that's kind of the line he's looking at. But how much power does he have? Third one I like is Mark Nixon. So if you keep up with Canadian news, Jasmine Lane, Mark Nixon, and Moose on the Loose.
There we go. Let me get this shared. There we go. There you go, everybody. There we go.
I love it. You're gonna have to send one, and I'm gonna put that out. Yeah, Canada's trying to ban X. That started with Starmer over there. Of course, I think he got pissed when someone put him in a bikini. But anything they say X is doing with images, it can be done with the other platforms. But share and post it. It can be done with the other platforms, but it's not making them completely nude. But you're looking at Canada is looking at banning it, and ahead of that, Albanese in Australia is looking at banning it. And if you they're so nuts on their censorship in Canada, if you give someone a link to a news article on Facebook, they can't read it. They get a warning that they're not able to read it in that country. And about 3 years ago, I was following some of the legislation that you hear, the censorship legislation going through Canada. And I wrote this on Facebook about 2 or 3 years ago, that they're passing, if they pass it, and they did, that it would violate CUSMA, be a direct violation of it. And what I was worried about is if we got someone in like Biden, they just blow it off and let us be screwed. But that's one of the few reasons that Trump is holding back on making a deal with them, is that that legislation.
All right, I just posted it on the YouTube channel. I'm gonna
Posting it on X. Post it on X and I'll repost it.
Okay, I'll post it on X too. Here we go.
But Trump doesn't want to take over all of the world, just part of it.
Well, okay, it's the whole see how much trouble we get when I put it as what would be messed up is if because I put it on the when I put it on the our X feed. Yeah, they've been trying to. Canada's been trying to deal with China since like Trudeau, and they're praising China and how great China is with all their stuff. And I mean, if you go in and see how much they like incarcerated their Muslims and created like internment camps for the Muslim community. And what was really interesting, I've seen this video. Yeah, the digital ID shit. They're trying their damnedest with that too. But have you ever? No one's talking about their mobile execution vans.
Uyghurs?
Don't you bastard. Think about it.
Oh, we can't say that word, can we?
No, we kind of can, but once it's one of those things that we really shouldn't. On YouTube, on X, well, we can say that crap. It's
yeah. There's the EV deal with BYD that Carney just made, basically to get spy mobiles all over Canada. Well, he didn't do it for that, but yeah, Doug Ford is really pissed about that, and it's a way to creep up on an EV mandate in Canada that he said he was backing down on, but he's going to increase. Right now it's 3% of their automotive, I think. And when people look at BYD and say, oh, great vehicles, well, they might have been decent, but EVs were heavily subsidized by the Chinese government. And when the Chinese government started cutting back on the subsidies, the only way they could still make them is to cut back on the quality components.
Really?
Best video I saw with Doug Ford was when he was trying to pour out the Crown Royal. I said that at the exact same time he did. Yeah, all because Crown Royal is moving the bottling operation, bottling part, not the entire Crown Royal, to the U.S. to avoid the tariffs. So basically him fighting Crown Royal was fighting the majority of the company is still in Canada.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to figure out how you pronounce it.
Crown Royal?
No, Bill. Jesus, I know how to say.
And I have a tip: Maple Crown
Woogers
isn't
Woogers. Okay.
Is that mispronounced it? That didn't pronounce it right. Maple Crown is not like maple syrup. Do not try to put Maple Crown Royal on pancakes.
Okay.
Just a tip. Just a
Okay.
tip.
Bill. I can't even say this word. Not can't because of the
Liars.
yeah. Orars are Turkic speaking ethnic group primarily resident in let's get this.
Xinjiang Liar.
Xinjiang Wire, anonymous region in northwest China with population of roughly 11 to 12 million. They are primarily Muslim minority. Yeah. Okay. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, that was the same thing I was talking about. But yeah, they're basically making them in internment camps. And yeah, get your maple syrup from Virginia, or not Virginia, from like Maine or Maryland. They have maple syrup there too.
Yeah, no. Crown Royal makes Maple Crown. You've never seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it. I just don't like Crown.
No. I have a bottle of Maple Crown, you know.
I'm a Jack Daniels man because I'm a man.
I was a Jack Daniels person.
I wonder if Vermont. Oh, Vermont. Yeah, Vermont. That's what it is.
Shit, can we talk alcohol on this?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can talk alcohol. Yeah, I was never I hated. Yeah, see, Jack Daniels, right? I switched to the newest whiskey I tried is Texas whiskey, TX whiskey. They're good too.
Okay. Have you ever ate something where you just ate too much of it and then you got sick and then you just couldn't eat it again?
Yeah.
The very first time that Dad found out that I drank was when I was sitting there with a friend and we were watching John Wayne, and John Wayne took a drink and Dad went, I can't see how anyone drinks that straight, and I looked at him and cracked up because I was doing Jack straight. Do you remember a club in town called Stardust?
No, that's beyond. Oh, wow. That is really beyond my time because I've never heard of Stardust.
Stardust was where the Cinemark is right now. They're a double
Theater.
Yeah.
That's pretty dang old because that used to be the Dollar Theater. And by the way, yeah, McDonald's, screw that. Undertaker can't do cucumbers, so yeah.
Okay, I got to finish with this. Their Jack Daniels, when you ordered it there, it was half of a Dixie cup.
Jesus.
So you ordered a double, you got a Dixie cup. So I went through with a friend. I only started drinking, when I turned 21, and normally he would drink. So a few times I said, okay, you be the designated driver. I'm going to do it. So I went in this one time and I'd go up to the line, get a Jack Daniels, get a single, a half a Dixie cup. And I'd go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Got back in line. So I did that, and about 4 of them were doubles, so you could say a whole thing of a Dixie cup. I got to 10. 10. And I go like this. And he goes, you got 2 options, the bathroom or the front door. I went out the front door and he came out, and I'm like barfing on the sidewalk and looking at these people and laughing and barfing on the sidewalk. And then he goes, okay, get in the car. He had a brand new Chevy step-side truck. So he decides to get a 6-pack. So we go to a gas station. He puts a 6-pack in the floorboard. I knock it over. The seals are breaking. Beer is running down out his door, down his floorboard. And he's like, Bill, I can, I'm going, I could save it. So I'm pushing them back into his truck, and they're spurting all over the place.
Really?
Oh, I missed a part. While he was in there buying the beer, I vanished, and he's looking for me, and I'm at the back of the gas station. This is on the little one on the bottom of Seymour Highway in Kemp, and I'm behind it, just laying on the ground, going. "Bleh." And then that's when he got me up and said, "Okay, let's get in the car." And then I shoved the bursting beer back in his floorboard.
Mm. Yeah, I had brought in Sambuca back from Italy, but the Sambuca I got was like it had like crystallized sugar in the bottom part of it, so I didn't want to have it. Dude, I hate liqueur. Liqueur, it basically tastes like licorice. And I took one swig of that and I gave it to somebody.
No, this is Stardust in our town of Wichita Falls. It was a club. The very first place I stayed at, my first trip in Las Vegas, was a Stardust. And that was kind of neat. I had front row seats to their show, and part of their show had Bobby Barasini and his trained orangutans.
Hmm.
Do you remember them?
No.
Every which way but loose, Clyde.
Oh yeah.
And he would, they had a guy come up on stage, and Clyde, he just took his wallet and his belt in a blink. And I have a picture that did not come out. I'm real pissed. When I left late, went down a side road to the Stardust, I saw the limo for them, and he had the orangutans etched in the window of the limo.
Oh,
I took a picture of that, and it didn't come out, but that was real cool.
No, the reason why I don't like Sambuca is because it has that licorice taste. Well, the one I had a licorice taste. Texas. Hence the Texas hat.
I decided to go a little less controversial today. What do you think?
It works for us because it's
Go less controversial or leave controversy, or go less controversial.
Well, it works for us when you put the
more controversial.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's the reason why you can stand the Sambuca and I can't, because I hate licorice.
Black or red?
Black. I can't stand black licorice. I love red licorice. Because red licorice is cherry or strawberry. It's a 50-50 thing, man. You're either gonna love licorice or you're black licorice, or you're gonna hate it. Yeah, I just man. Did you used to do this? You like put like peanuts in like Dr. Pepper?
No, I've never done that.
Man, my grandfather used to do that all the time. Put like what he's putting is putting like licorice in sodas. I mean, they have licorice taste. Oh, you are a demon child. Black jelly beans too? That is licorice. God,
those are awesome.
I can't. No, I can't. No.
I can. I'm not racist. I can do all licorice, black, red.
Oh man, see, yeah, he's like, that's funny, but no, I just my grandfather used to get like Dr. Pepper, and he'd like pour peanuts in it. I know lots of people that do that. They'll do it like Coke and everything, because of the salt content on the peanuts. I don't know why, but it makes them taste better. But yeah, I don't understand that kind of concept.
And we're in Texas. It's the home of Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Have you ever been?
I have a cat named Peanut, but I'm not putting peanut in my Dr. Pepper.
That is far beyond. Yeah, it's either Coca-Cola or I don't get it. I still don't get like peanut butter on pancakes too.
What?
No, Bill. What? Don't even try. Don't even try. I had
Come on over and let's have some peanut butter on pancakes.
no. Yes. See, that's gross.
I just did it probably twice in the last week.
Peanut butter
Little
on
frozen pancakes, and we have the little cups of peanut butter, the little individual cups, and you take that individual cup, spreads great on 3 pancakes.
See, I just no. What? No.
Well, if my blood sugar really crashes, I'll take a bowl and put peanut butter in it, and then just
See, I can
with
do-
syrup, and I'll mix peanut butter and syrup and just eat it.
See, I don't mind. It's the strangest thing. I can't do it on pancakes, but I can do it with oatmeal. I've done the oatmeal with peanut butter. Man, y'all are Bill. 1, you're diabetic. You shouldn't be doing this stuff. And 2, it seems like Josh diabetic too, or becoming diabetic.
When
Oh,
it was right after I got married, KSCS in the Metroplex had where people were calling in and they asked for the grossest things they ate. And people were calling in and they were saying, we mixed this and this. Yeah, okay. And I went, I like Venus sausage and I like to drink the juice. It's a meal, it's food and drink in one. And they went, oh man, we're ending the segment right here.
man, I was watching this one video here, Lisa. Okay, here we go. They're saying that they might have found a cure for type 1 diabetes. It's it's progress is being made, especially with stem cell therapies, showing promise in critical trials to restore insulin production and potentially eliminating the need for insulin injections, with some studies achieving insulin independence in patients by creating new immune evading beta cells and using donor cells. While managing type 1 diabetes still requires lifelong insulin diet and monitoring, research focus on cell replacement, immune system resetting, and stem cell engineering to function and cure to the disease. So,
105 right now.
okay.
Oh, not the corned beef hash.
You know,
That reminds me of there's those memories that just pop in out of nowhere and stick with you. And it reminds me one day, Mom, who cooked a lot. I mean, really good. She always cooked, always did the meals. One day she didn't feel like it, and she took a can of corned beef, opened it, and just went plop and stuck it a can where it was standing up on the plate. And Dad walks in and looks down and goes, Alpo.
yeah, it's that I had to cook it all the time when I was in the military. That was one of our main foods that we had to cook every day. I think the reason why I can't do corned beef is I'm trying to find the recipe for corned beef. I think it has a lot of.
Now there is some good variety with Venus sausage. There isn't just Venus sausage. Do the ones with barbecue.
Oh God. Yeah, I did the Vienna sausage with barbecues once. I just don't. It was something about the seasoning. I tried corned beef once, and I just couldn't get. It was a weird taste to me, so I just didn't like it.
I have another tip. He mentioned hash browns. I learned something a couple of weeks ago that potato wedges isn't like a wedged shaped potato patty, like your hash brown patty. They're completely different. And if you go with the directions of a potato wedge in the microwave, About a third of the way through the time it says to cook it, there were flames in the microwave. It took days to. I used an AI to analyze the house to try to see the best way to get the odor out of the house.
You're absolutely right there, sir. Waffle House does have the best hash browns in America.
And I cannot at all get my wife into a Waffle House. I don't know why.
That's
I
like,
don't know why.
dude, that if there was an apocalypse, Waffle House would be the only thing open, and people still work there.
And
Even-
we would starve. And we would starve.
I would take you, and I would bring her dragging and screaming. Yeah.
Do you have a best Waffle House movie scene?
You know what? It's not a movie scene, but
CFR Waffle guy can come up with it. Best Waffle House movie scene.
you know what was the best waffle scene I've ever seen? Waffle House waffle scene. Antonio Brolin. He went to a Waffle House for the first time, and the entire scene of how he describes it, it's like it really is art of him describing him going to Waffle House. Yeah, that man. I tell you one thing though, because a friend of mine tried to make eggs one time and used bacon grease. I know. I'm one of those people. It's like you make the bacon and then you make and then the people make the eggs. I stopped doing that because you have to scrape the bacon bits off of out of the grease. So I just use like legitimate butter because butter gives everything good taste and everything. And yes, I'd like the taste of bacon grease on my eggs too, but it makes the eggs dirty, so I don't like that. Why not? What's not going to work? We gotta drop this pretty soon though.
Can we do a 28-second movie clip?
Yeah, go ahead. No. No, we can't do a 20. We can't do a 28-second movie clip. Bill. Just say what the movie's from.
We can't do a 28-second movie clip?
No. You can do
Tin Cup.
Tin Cup. Okay, say Tin Cup. Okay. Yeah, it was Tin Cup. Yeah, we can't do movie clips, Bill. It flags, copyright, blah, blah, blah. I'm surprised we're able to do like Fox News. CNN will trash us most of the time. It's Tin Cup. Anyways, we've been at this an hour and 33 minutes. Catch us on Mondays and Fridays every week at 8 p.m. Next and if you get on, we'll be on X on Wednesdays at 8, and we just go like full ham. We do whatever we want on that. Yes. Old people have to go to bed. Love everybody else. Thank you for staying with us.
And I'm not here on Monday. I'm just do the Friday political.
Yes. I'm David Dickerman.
And I'm Wild William. And good night, all.
Yeah, I'm 47, so you're 10 years younger than me.
Yeah,
But
I'm pretty close to 57. Holy shit.
what?
I'm 67. 60 this year?
Oh,
Shit, I probably won't be around it much longer.
probably not. But
Yeah.
anyways, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Love you guys.
Love you too. Bye.